problem here. We want to determine whether the function is linear. Well, to see if something is linear, that means our rate of change will be constant. That's an H, by the way. That means I'm going to find the rate of change between each pair of numbers, and if they're the same, it's linear. If they're not the same at any point, then it's not linear. So first off, I go from -5 to -3. Notice that goes up 2. If I go from 11 to 8, I'm going down 3, aren't I? So I know my rate of change is -2/3 between the first pair of points. And if I get anything besides -2/3, or at least reduces to -2/3, or means -2/3, then it's not the same. Now I go from -3 to -1, I'm going up 2 again. And from 8 to 5, I'm going down 3. That's the same. From -1 to 1, I'm going up 2. From 5 to 2, I'm going down 3. Looks pretty promising, doesn't it? From 1 to 3, I'm going up 2. And from 2 to -1, I'm going down 3. In this case, everyone was exactly the same. So since it is exactly the same, we're going to say, hey, this is a linear graph. Now let's take a look at the next one. From -4 to -1, I'm going up 3, aren't I? From 22 to 29, I'm going up 7. So my rate of change is 3/7. Now from -1 to 1, I'm going up 2. From 29 to 36, I'm going up 7, aren't I? And we can definitely see 3/7 does not equal 2/7. If I had like a different set of numbers, I might want to look at cross multiplying, which I said I don't like, or divide them out and see if those decimals are the same. But I can definitely see 3/7 does not equal to 2/7. And so my answer, this is not linear. Now, you might say, hey, is this kind of like slope? Yes, it is. It's kind of like slope. Rate of change is the ratio that compares your change in y to change in x. The difference is rate of change has units. So like when we did songs per minute, that had units in it. Slope, because we're on a graph, there won't necessarily be units with them, or they might be the same units and they'll reduce out. So that's the difference. Slope is just a number. Rate of change has units. And you might have seen before, like slope is change in y over change in x. Why we use the letter m has some debate on it, but we use m for slope in Algebra 1. So whenever you see the m, we're looking for slope. But we do it the same way, notice. I subtract my y's over, I subtract my x's. Now you do have to memorize this formula. It's not one I want you to write down on a formula sheet. It's one I want you to memorize. You shouldn't have to sit down and memorize it, because every time you do it, write it down, and eventually it's just going to stick in there by doing it. Now, if you're just using a program, that's not going to help you. So you do have to memorize that. And we'll show you a couple ways you can memorize it. One is, I always think is slope is rise over run, because it's easy and fun. Subtract the y's over subtract the x's.